At the center of every computer or every computing device is a motherboard. Motherboard is a printed circuit board. Means it's a board that's made up of multiple layers with conductive and non-conductive materials that enable electric signals to go from different components of the computer. The conductive material carries the electric signals from the different components to the other different sections, and the non-conductive material stops it from going elsewhere. And it's called a printed circuit board because these are put together in layers. This motherboard is from the Raspberry Pi computer. In a certain extent, this is a Raspberry Pi computer. When you purchase a Raspberry Pi computer, this is what you get. It has the main components on the motherboard that any computer will need. You can see that there's a central processing unit, or CPU. This is the microprocessor that controls all the functions of the computer. It also has primary memory. This big chip is the RAM chip, which in this case is fixed onto the motherboard. Some motherboards can take additional RAM cards to be inserted into them to expand the RAM of the computer. There's also a very small ROM chip, you can see is in the corner of this motherboard. The ROM has some of the primary memory that's used when the computer boots up, it starts up. It's the bootloader of the computer. On this motherboard, you can see different chips on the motherboard that control different functions. This one here controls the USB ports, and you can see there are several USB ports soldered onto the motherboard here. It also has a chip that controls the Ethernet network cable adapter, which is a wired networking capability that this computer has. It also has a chip on it that controls wireless networking capabilities. This is a motherboard in this true sense of the word because you can see that there are connectors in it that allow expansion cards or daughter boards to be attached, which can expand the function of the computer. These could include things like separate sound cards or graphic cards, or the capability to connect to a broadcast television or things like that. It depends on what can be expanded. Some motherboards don't have those kinds of expansion ports, and then they would really be called a main board. But we use the term motherboard to refer to all the main printed circuit boards at the center of every computer. The motherboard also will need a place to connect to a power supply. In this computer's case, it's a USB-C port that gets connected to a charger like the ones that are used on smartphones. Again, motherboards are at the heart of any computer, any computing device. This example is for a Raspberry Pi computer, and you can see it's not very big. Desktop computers will have much bigger motherboards with more capabilities and more components to them. Laptop computers will have motherboards that are smaller than desktop computers but much bigger than the Raspberry Pi, and your smartphone will have a motherboard that's quite small in it. A motherboard is the printed circuit board that contains and controls all the components of the computer. If you found this video interesting and useful, please like and subscribe to this channel for more videos. And if you want to know more about hardware of a computer, check out the links in the description below. I've got an online course called Conquer Computer Science, Hardware and Software that goes into detail about CPUs and memory and all the components of the computer. Thanks for watching.